I'm going to try not to cheat too much. I was told that it didn't have to be exactly 15 minutes per slide, but 5 minutes. So I'll keep you to 5 minutes. My idea is the people's homebrew pub. Of the people, by the people, for the people. We already heard that theme. And it's going to be about liquid art. We also heard that. Next. I'm married. I have 3 kids. I went to JMU in the early 90s. I was tutored in the ways of great beer in Seattle. I moved back to the Valley in 2003. I currently work for Rosetta Stone. I am not a restaurateur, but I love beer and I love big ideas. My first batch of beer that I brewed entirely by myself was in December of 2004. I've made Kolsch's, Saison, barley wine, winter ales, lots of different types of beers. I like making beer. I brought a copy of my favorite IPA. I have 20 of them, so if you want that, let me know afterwards. Brewing 101, you have 4 basic ingredients: malt, which is wheat or barley, water, hops, and yeast, with 5 basic steps. You mash the barley, which is to say soak it in hot water. You sparge it, which is to say rinse it to get the sugars out of it. You boil the result and add hops and for bitterness and flavoring, and you kill all the bad stuff, the bacteria. You ferment it, which turns it into the alcohol, the good part, and then you bottle it or keg it. Single most important top tip if you're starting, keep everything immaculately clean and sanitize it all, otherwise you get nasty flavors. The big idea, I love to brew, but it's easy to brew way more than you can possibly drink by yourself. I've tried. And you could give it all away, but then you'll go broke. So the idea is beer is liquid art. What if we had a beer gallery? Provide local artists with access to good equipment and patrons to appreciate their work. So what would it take? Well, I need some more beer artists other than me. I need a gallery space, I need equipment, staff, I have to deal with regulatory and legal stuff, marketing and signs, supplies, and then what I call unknown unknowns, which is to say, I don't have ideas to ask these questions even. I brought along a spreadsheet of all of my ruminations of whether or not I think it's possible, and I think it's possible. My assumptions are that it's primarily a beer gallery. You'll have food because, well, you have to have food with beer, but it's not intended to be a culinary institute. I think there'd be 6 beer artists, but it could be more depending on how many people make great beer. Making 14.5-gallon batches. The idea is you sell some memberships, people that are particularly dedicated to beer. It's open, say, the sweet spot of days, 6 days a week, say 4 to 10 p.m. And I did not, in my estimation, include selling growlers. I also did not include wholesaling and labeling beer, brewing on premises, building brewing classes, retailing equipment, etc. I have spreadsheets. You can take them if you want. Thoughts about artists and brewers. Probably partners in this business. They are part owners in the equipment and part owners in any profits that come from it, with a demonstrated talent in brewing beer. We don't want to serve up stuff that's not very good. And a willingness to brew twice a month. That assumption is in order to brew enough in order to make money. Real estate options. The space is, I've talked to local realtors, and there's lots of different options for that, and I think that it's probably somewhere around $2,000 or less per month. If we think of it as a gallery, I think it should be stylish and cool, but comfortable, a place that you'd want to go to enjoy a good beer, a place that's good for conversations. I'm thinking no TVs or music that's subtle, because you don't want to drown stuff out. You want to be able to enjoy the art, and you want to be able to connect with people. And acoustics that dampen the environment, not like this loud, vibrating space that you can't even hear yourself think. Communal tables, a place that's comfortable to walk up to a stranger and be connected to them. And it should be a public space that when you're not brewing at it or when you're not open with the pub, people can use it for meetings and various other things. Brewing equipment, you would get lots of different stuff. You have a fermenter, you have CO2 tanks, regulators, brew pots, false bottoms, tap handles, and so forth. This would be equipment that the artists use in order to make their beer. You would need staff. You need a bartender, probably a manager, kitchen people in order to make cooking. And the spreadsheets that I have, the current financial assumption is that you could work with 3 people for the entire time that you're open, paying $35 an hour. I have no idea whether or not that's even remotely sane. In terms of ABC licensing, maybe I know the most about this. I have a long thread with an ABC official. You can actually do this. You'd be a brewery and a restaurant in the same place. Next slide, you would have to pay a brewery license, which is about $2,100 a year. Assumes that you brew less than 310,000 gallons of beer, which is a lot of beer. It would allow you to sell to wholesalers, and you could also, who would then sell to retail establishments. You then, for $300 a year, buy an on and off premises license, which allows you to sell growlers. There's other miscellaneous application fees. Additional legal stuff that you have to deal with, you probably want to have LLC or a partnership agreement of some sort. You need to have an employee number, identification number in order to do taxes for your employees, business license, a trade name in fictitious form, and a food service license for the food part. But those seem like pretty tractable problems. Marketing, you obviously good website, social media, logo, signage, advertising, word of mouth from your friends. And then I found this awesome website, taphandles.com, which allows you to make like everything, boxes for your bottles, labels for your bottles, tap handles, everything you need in order to sell your cold beer. And then my last slide is resources if you're interested. Thank you.
Yeah.